Jordan executed 2 al-Qaeda prisoners before dawn Wednesday, following through on a promised strong response to the ISIS killing of pilot Moat al-Qasas, the government spokesman said. Put to death were Saeed al-Rashid, the Iraqi would-be suicide bomber whose release ISIS had previously requested, and Ziad Karbali, the former top aide to the deceased leader of al-Qaeda in Iraq, Abu Musa al-Zarqawi. The spokesman said al-Rashid was executed for her role in a 2005 suicide bombing at a wedding reception in Jordan that killed dozens. Karbali was sentenced to death in 2007 after he was convicted of acts of terrorism that killed 1 person, the plotting of more terrorist attacks and the possession of explosives, the Jordanian spokesman said. The executions come the day after video and stills appeared to show a Jordanian military pilot being burned alive while confined in a cage. CNN is not showing images of the killing, which triggered global condemnation and prompted immediate promises of retaliation and protests in Jordan, one of more than 60 nations involved in the U.S.-led coalition against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. The 22-minute video begins with an attack on Jordan's King Abdullah II, suggesting he is to blame for what happened to the pilot, Moat al-Qasas. A short time after the video became public, Jordanian military spokesman Mamdouh al-Amri said al-Qasas was assassinated on January 3. His statement indicates the back and forth in recent weeks between Jordan and ISIS about a possible prisoner exchange to free the pilot took place after his death. Jordan repeatedly had asked ISIS to show proof that al-Qasas was alive. Those who doubted the atrocities committed by ISIS now have the proof, Jordanian government spokesman Mohammed al-Mamani said on state TV. Those who doubted Jordan's power will soon see the proof as well. Al-Qasas' blood will not be shed in vain. In Amman and in the pilot's hometown, crowds hit the streets, calling for revenge. With the blood and self, protesters chanted, "We are sacrificing ourselves for Moth." One demonstrator held a poster that read, "They burned our hearts, so let's burn their dens, and their prisoners in our prisons." What could happen next? Analysts have predicted the brutality of its latest video could come back to bite ISIS. "I think there's likely to be a backlash, particularly in Jordan," said Paul Cruikshank, a CNN terrorism analyst. "I think it's sort of going to rally support for King Abdullah and his participation in the anti-ISIS coalition." ISIS is known to be holding at least 2 Western hostages still. John Cantley, the British journalist who has appeared in a number of ISIS-produced videos, and an American woman who is a 26-year-old worker. The propaganda factor, I think, is going to completely backfire on them, and the reason I say that is, when was the last time you had a mob in the street of one of these Muslim countries that was not screaming death to America, but in fact screaming, "Get revenge on ISIS," which essentially means, "Team up with America," said Tom Fuentes, a CNN law enforcement analyst. "I think it's a huge mistake on the part of ISIS." A video not like the others. ISIS has recorded the deaths of its captives before, then disseminated the brutal footage online as propaganda. What makes the Jordanian pilot's case different is that he hailed from a Middle Eastern nation taking part in the anti-ISIS military coalition. The manner of execution also is different. In previous ISIS videos, captives were beheaded. A masked man with a London accent, dubbed Jihadi John, has appeared in at least 6 videos, standing near hostages. Sometimes, ISIS has threatened who it will kill next. At the end of its latest video, ISIS shows names and addresses of who it claims are Jordanian pilots. The reward is offered and a voice says they are wanted dead. I think they're sending the clear message to the Arab members of the coalition, and certainly Sunni Muslims who may be engaged in the fight against ISIS, that this is the way they're going to be treated. They're going to be treated brutally, and in fact, maybe perhaps more brutally than other members of the coalition, said Juan Cerati, the former U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor. Pilot crashed during coalition militia. Militants said they captured Al-Qasas Bey after he ejected from his crashing F-16 on December 24, having taken part in U.S.-led coalition airstrikes near Kuwait, Syria, the de facto ISIS capital. Almost immediately, he became a major pawn for ISIS. The Islamist extremist group had taken hostages before, but it hadn't captured anyone from the U.S.-led military coalition who was actively fighting to defeat it. His capture got the attention of many in Jordan, including King Abdullah, who is a former helicopter pilot. Jordanian officials had talked openly about the possibility of swapping al-Rashid, a jihadist imprisoned in Jordan, for Al-Qasas Bey. That demand was made via Japanese journalist Kenji Goto, who also was taken captive by ISIS.